Since the release of Quake 3 on the Sega Dreamcast and on PC in October of 2000, gamers around the world have been arguing in the office space and the classroom which of the two breeds harder and sweatier competition, the console or the PC. Not even debating semantics here, but really challenging yourself to figure out, why do some gamers think that one is better than the other? I've seen a lot of the videos of players moving from console over to PC, just absolutely destroying keyboard and mouse gamers, but that doesn't really give anyone a good representation of what the console community looks like. That just means that player is really good at the game, and their character, like, actually insane. So, I just shut the ego off, turned the videos off, stopped asking the questions, and just got straight to it. How hard would it be for a keyboard and mouse player to pick up a controller and get to the highest rank in Marvel Rivals? Not top 500, one above all. So this means that I'll be solo queuing playing only Thor, not even swapping if I have to teleport playing Doctor Strange. I know, that just sounds like straight up grief, but hey, what's a challenge if not a challenge? So unless he's banned, I'm him, bro. My chat and I both confirmed that we would just use the regular Xbox controller too. No back buttons or anything, just a regular stock one. Then lastly, the challenge is we have to get to one above all. Not top 500 in Celestial, not Eternity, but one above all, the highest rank in the game. So here we go. I know everyone's going to be asking immediately in the comment section, or some of the players will be that are on console. So here are the generic settings that I was using. I literally just put it on, I think 225 for my sense. And then for the dead zone, I just turned it all the way up. Somebody named Southside, he's a regular in my chat. He came in and he said, yo, just do this with your settings. Trust me, it's going to work out. I had a ton of other players coming in asking me, yo bro, try out my settings. Yo bro, your sense is kind of way too low. Yo, it's way too high. If you get the PS3 analog stick with the double back paddles, like, bro, doesn't matter if you have a crazy knife, if you have a crazy apron, if you have a crazy oven. If you know ball, you know ball. You're gonna make good food, you're gonna play properly, do what's comfortable to you. Obviously there's a right way to go about things, there's a right way to do things, but when it comes down to personal preference, it's personal preference. That's what it is. From bronze till about grandmaster was pretty much the exact same style of games and level of games that you'd find on PC. A lot of gamers just aren't that experienced with all the characters' abilities, where you should be at all times, how you should be playing the game, period. So you just take advantage of that by flanking 24/7. A lot of players also just forget that you're even there. You'll just flank the back line, engage on them, they'll use their abilities, then they'll just forget that you even exist. Most players are just here for a good time, not a long time. So with me starting this challenge off in the beginning of a brand new season as well, no one exactly was in one above all. So by Celestial 2, I was about 160 spots off top 500. But I will say, nearing Celestial, the games just got way more toxic. And unfortunately, I didn't have a microphone either. So I was just forced to endure the filth that was coming out of these players' mouths. And then 9 times out of 10, if you don't engage with the rancid behavior, and these people just end up throwing regardless. Oh, who would have thought? You get to top 500 and the games are decided literally in champ select. Oh my god, who would have thought? The last game, they just surrendered and we won. This game, we just surrender and they win. Just leaving you with monotonous win-loss gameplay. And then me, someone who's completely new to a controller, and then a Thor OTP, who's not even swapping off to pick Doctor Strange if I have to teleport. I'm not communicating my engages, my ultimates, my target priority. I'm not gonna sit here and defend the ghoulish behavior, but I can't say I don't see where they're coming from. It's incredibly frustrating to play a team game, trying to fill the holes in the group, just to have somebody in your eyes playing a really bad hero, really poorly, and then not helping his team and not doing anything. It's pretty much safe to say that this challenge stopped becoming a 1v9 challenge, and it was incredibly apparent that I had to work with my team in any way possible. So for me, this challenge proposed a lot of issues. Mainly, my aim just being completely dog water. But other players and their completely different hero, every game was a rocket diff. Rocket for me was absolutely impossible to kill. And then nobody at all for some reason wanted to break his ultimate. Literally nobody. Didn't matter if they were on my team, the enemy team, nobody broke his ultimate. This problem is completely apparent on PC as well. But all I'm gonna say is, this did not end even in top 500. Not good, bro. I can't kill a beacon. Bro, it doesn't even matter. Like, nobody breaks it anyways. It's such a worthless idea. Also, seeing a Luna Snow on your team either just meant that you weren't going to be healed because they were going to be getting farmed off cooldown by the enemy team, or they just have Dookie aim. Overall, in my opinion, Rocket is just a cheat code for ranking up and climbing on console. The joystick as well, just running down the walls, it feels like a mini game. The only other cheat code for Rocket would have been the Iron Fist. He's the anti-Rocket Raccoon because he can just lock on, just drift around the entire time. Console is melee meta. The sheer number of Iron Fist, Magic, Captain America players, just melee in general that I saw, this Omega had me questioning how console affects the buffs and the nerfs in Marvel Rivals. Being from League of Legends, this is a PC only game. That's not even something I had to consider at all. I bring this up because on Overwatch, apparently the PC and the console patch notes, they're different. A little bit off topic there, but in my opinion, until you get to the very top, the hero pools are pretty different. And even there, it was pretty different. Once I got to about top 500, the hardest part was just my aim. It was an awful aim. I couldn't take control of the games how I used to be in the lower ranks, just flanking the entire time and abusing the bad DPS or support positioning. But I also didn't have a microphone, so I couldn't calm anything. Good game sense, good communication, or good aim, then just consistency. In my opinion, those are the 3 ways you're probably gonna end up climbing, generally. But I was just Moby, bruh. I was a robot. I was AI. So, for the content of the video, for the streams, and just to escape elo hell, with 2 weeks left in season 4.5, we had to bust the microphone out. All right, so look, maybe with the Jeremy look, we could have just spent all of our time playing Marvel Rivals, bashing our head at the screen, and inevitably, boom, one above all would have came. However, the fact that it happened here and then, like, bro, the day with the microphone, we had wins where players were just crashing out, going crazy in the voice comms, in the text chat. They were just typing up a storm. They're on control. They're typing on controller, and we still ended up clutching out a W. It was actually insane. It was insane. This guy is choosing the absolute worst time to even say anything. Bro, we are literally backs against the wall. 2 minutes left on the clock. Shot counter, and this guy wants to say some of the most constructive shit I've ever heard in my entire life. And he types it too. He types it on the controller. I don't know if the microphone just makes players play more serious. I don't know if it was the fact that I was communicating things that were actually helpful. However, though, the difference in game quality, it was actually massive. Even while I was rage baiting too, it just seemed like the players that I was playing with wanted to prove me wrong the entire time, so they were playing better. I was rage baiting them to do good. It was crazy. So in my opinion, if you're seriously trying to climb in Marvel Rivals, or if you want to just have a good time just flaming people, obviously text chat and voice chat can be very toxic at times, or just most of the time. However, get a microphone though. If you can't talk to these players and face them over the microphone, good luck doing anything outside. These are people on a superhero video game. I am one to talk though. If anyone was able to catch that miserable Mark streams at their peak, then they know the sheer level of tilt that came out. They're never gonna hear from a Jeremy stream ever again unless we go for some reason controller on PC. Oh my god, get punched in the face for once in your life. Get into a fight, go outside, get roughhoused. Do anything for once in your life, please. Lose, just once in your life, please lose at something. My god. These people are such pussies. It's not even funny. What have we bred? What is council players? What have we bred? What have we bred? What have we bred? Actual pussies. It's all good, guys. We'll just sit in our base then. Touch our dicks. It's all good. Yeah, that was... yeah. All right, so lastly, what's the big difference between the two? PC and console? What is everyone even here for? What do they want to know? What did I experience on console? You've heard the opinions from players who are on console and transitioned over to PC. You know, they had the experience of the controller the entire time. What's the opinion of someone who learned the game brand new on the controller? What was harder? For me personally, drum roll, sorry to say, controller was indeed easier. Oh, let me cook. This, in my opinion, had nothing to do at all with good aim, better game sense, nothing like that in the slightest. The biggest difference that made the games not feel as terrible was, here we go, hero pool. I would agree. The players that I saw that were playing Psylocke, that were playing Namor and Hela, they weren't tap and speedery level of 1v9. However, those heroes just weren't in my games at all. So maybe I was playing at a different time, at the wrong times. Maybe the 1v9 players just weren't online. But those players were not in my games at all. When you're up against Magic, Iron Fist, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Wolverine, the games just aren't comparable in the slightest. No one's targeting you, and whenever they do, you can just take advantage of them and one-shot them. No one's poking you out the entire time, playing Bucky Barnes, hooking you out of the air, earthbounding you, stunning you, poking you as Hela, Phoenix. Anyone who challenges you virtually just gets shit on bad because they're playing melee characters and you just own them. So it's one of these things where it's not even comparable. Then also, the amount of top 500 EU players that just make comments about the games whenever they play on NA, like, oh, if you're on NA, the Spider-Man monkey circus animals come out. Like, bro, your GOAT is literally the Spider-Man guy. NA Spider-Man, bro. NA Spider-Man. But also, if you just look back at the match history of somebody who's in top 500, you'll notice that most of the DPS they're playing against constantly is just the same. Bucky Barnes, Hela, Namor, Phoenix, Daredevil. Obviously, this was recorded in season 4.5, season 4, so take that with a grain of salt. But those are and were strong 1v9 pick and bang characters because they played them so often and so well up against other players who are also incredibly good at those characters. They just figure out ways to adapt and play better. When you're going up against players who are some of the best in the entire world, you figure out how they are some of the best in the entire world, how they play, and what they can do to get away with different things, how aggressively you can play, how defensively you have to play. You should eventually become as good as these players if you're playing against them 24/7 because you know, you should be learning from them, figuring out why they're beating you, how it's working so well. Obviously, there's a lot of other mindsets you can have going into these games, like, oh, my team just sucks wiener. But just take, for example, if you have some of the best DPS players who are queuing on PC, and 80% of them want to play Psylocke, Bucky Barnes, Hela, or Namor, versus if you have the best DPS players on console, and 20% of them play the meta picks, you're going to be playing more games that are worse quality, gaining less experience, and essentially just saying to yourself, oh, well, I made this work against a new player, so this is just OP. I can sit here and say, look how broken and meta Thor is. I made him work in a top 500 game against pro players. But there are so many more factors that are obviously going into that game than just, oh, I was playing Thor in top 500. Was somebody a one trick off their hero? Was somebody auto-filled? Do they have any support players on their teams? Oh, I had 2 EU pro players who were dueling together versus their no pro players. At the end of the day, I managed to get top 500 during when some might say was the most sweatiest and I guess AIDS times, early Marvel Rival season and end season. And personally, I saw the exact same hero pools to the end, Melee, and a meta of Hela and Namor. My question to the other one above all players who started out on console, moved to PC, who have said it's about the exact same, is how. No judgment on game sense, no judgment on aim, just simply, how can you compare the two when the hero pools are just so different? So, as miserable Mark as some of those streams sounded, I probably had the most fun just actually learning something new and challenging myself every single day. I've been one above all every single season, and once that happens, you just kind of drift into burn off, and you can just tell by the streams that they're not as entertaining or as fun. So I think that even people watching me kind of crash out a little bit was probably still more fun than anything else. So if you're able to catch any of the streams, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll be streaming every single day in December, starting at about 6 p.m. EST. December is going to be a crazy month, boys. Thor Nation will rise. Peace out, boys. Have a good one.
Final score, 3-2-2.
Hold. Everybody just fucking hold. Just sit here and goddamn hold. Everybody hold. We did it! Oh my holy. That's 24. That's 24. Am I above 30? Oh my god. We're above 30. Ah! Oh my gosh. All it took is the microphone. That's all it took. That's all it took was the microphone. We just needed the comms. The big 25!